this is Diana. This is my Trailblazers in the Universe YouTube channel. So on my channel, I help you transcend your limitations, break through your barriers, so you can live your best, most authentic life. Today's topic is going to be 8 different ways to deal with anxiety. So I'm someone that had to deal with anxiety issues my whole life, or I guess when I started high school, I really started to deal with anxiety. I was on and off medication for years. So these are ways that have helped me do it. I'm no longer on medication for it. And actually, I just feel like I'm a lot healthier now. Medication, I'm not saying that you shouldn't take it, but, it works for different people, different ways for different people. Everyone's brain chemistry is different. So I found that I really learned better coping skills, rather than just taking a pill to make me feel better. I decided to just go more natural. So basically, first we need to understand anxiety to begin with. So anxiety is basically, we're kind of projecting our fears and everything into the future. We're not being very present. We're worried that we're not going to have enough money. We're worried about losing this job. We're worried about getting in a car accident, or worried about our partner, like in a relationship. A lot of it's like hypothetical. A lot of it's based on our past fears, past trauma fears that we've had, and we're bringing like the past and projecting into the future. We're not really being present. So if you stay in the present moment right now, is there anything wrong in the present moment? Usually no. And by the time, if something did happen, it's already passed, because everything's always moving along. So you just have to learn to be present and kind of go with the flow more. You know, most of the things we worry about or don't even happen. We catastrophize everything, and that's just the way we are and the way we're programmed. So the first 4 ways are going to be ways to get in. So how do we get present? It's way easier said than done. So the first way that helps me, breath work. So I use Wim Hof breath work. You can YouTube that. It's helped a lot of people. People say it saved their lives. I mean, I do it, like, I think it's good to start off in the morning with it when you wake up. So it kind of sets the day. So it makes you, I notice when I do it, I feel less reactive, not really emotionally triggered as much, and less anxious in general. So that's definitely a good way. There's also other types of breath work. They have DMT breath work. There's different kinds of breath work you can use. So, you can just go on YouTube and just whatever resonates with you. Some people just take deep breaths in and out. They do like intervals of 7 or 4 or so forth. So really, whatever resonates with you. I also think it's good to do before you go to sleep. I'd say at least when you wake up in the morning and before you go to sleep. Also, as needed throughout the day. Sometimes midday I'm at work, I'm stressed out. I might go in my car, do some breath work. And it really does help me take the space I need and just get back to a more stable state. The second way is through exercise. Exercise really helps me. I like more intense exercise. So I like more cardio. I do like HIIT training, cardio. I even do kickboxing, or I go jogging, running. If you start off your day like that, I mean, it's hard to get up in the morning, especially if you go to work, but, I'm making that more of a habit now. And just really a good way to blow up some steam when you're anxious. Go get a workout, and any movement is good. So it really doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be cardio. It doesn't have to be intense. Go walk around the block, do something, some kind of movement. Walk around the office, whatever. Pace around your house, something. Just got to get your body moving. Anxiety a lot of the times is in your head, so we want to move from the head into the body. Get more on the body. When we're more on the body, we're more present. The third way is meditation, and I also use binaural beats as well. So I use guided meditations. Aaron Doughty, if you look on YouTube, he has a really good meditations. Honest Guys, Dr. Joe Dispenza, very good meditations. Some people just meditate just by being present, but we know it's not always as easy to be present. So that's why I think guided meditations help. Look on YouTube, there's plenty of guided meditations. Even if, it's kind of hard to stay present at first, maybe start off with a shorter one. If you're not familiar with them, maybe start one that's like 10 minutes, and then eventually, like, I start doing 30-minute, 40-minute ones. Sometimes you won't have much time. So whatever resonates, and with practice, you'll be able to be present more. It takes a while. It took me like years, like, because when I was a person, I had a lot of anxiety and everything. So, but really, meditation does really have a lot of good long-term benefits. What is the fourth way? Fourth way you can be more present and deal with anxiety is grounding. So I go outside, I step barefoot in the grass. walk around for a little bit, you know. And some people say to imagine you're like a tree and you have roots growing to the ground. So we really need to connect, it's once again, it's like exercise be more in our body, right? Getting out of the head, being more connected to earth, the ground, not all up in the clouds and worry about the future and kind of we get carried away. It's kind of bringing it back down, centering ourselves, um, connecting with the earth more. Nature walks are great. You always feel good after you go on a hike, even if it's just a walk down up and down the street. I do that while I'm at work too. If I've been focused on something for a while and I'm starting to get a little bit tense, I'll just go on a short walk. I'll even go walk around the building once or something. So that helps too. So the fifth way, so those were ways to get present. The fifth way, deal with anxiety, just another way, is limit the amount of social media that you use. Or even the news too, or watching the news. It's always breaking news, it's always negative, right? It's always putting you in a state of perpetual fear. So I know when I watch the news too much, when I do, I notice I do start to get anxious and everything. So, if you don't want to stop watching it, maybe cut back on it. Social media, we're on there comparing our lives to other people. We get anxious about things. Maybe you're stalking your ex. There's different social media that can cause anxiety in numerous amount of ways. And we're also not really present when we're on social media all the time. So I just say limit. I'm not gonna say cut it out because I don't cut it out, but I'm also working on limiting. Sometimes I'll be like, okay, I'm not gonna go on Facebook or YouTube or whatever for a certain amount of time. So at least limiting could help. The next way, so the sixth way is going to be just basically a different perspective shift. So, for instance, when we're anxious, like I said, we're projecting fear into the future. So, kind of trying to just know that it's temporary, know that it's going to pass. We don't need to keep stressing out. It's going to pass. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And just kind of having that perspective, like, whatever's going to, like, whatever happened 3 days ago that you're anxious about, are you so anxious about it now? Most of the time it's not, it's already passed. You're worried about the next thing, right? So just knowing that it's going to pass, things that they were worried about. And usually when you look at it this way, sometimes the thing you're worried about, you didn't have much to worry about at all. And it was just, all in your head. So, just know that everything's temporary. And also, another perspective shift could be making peace with the worst case scenario. So even if the worst thing that's possible happened, the thing you're so worried about, that you're losing sleep over, that you can't stop thinking about, even if that did happen, is it really the worst thing? Sometimes it isn't. If you remember perspective, sometimes it actually could lead to something better, or it's not as bad as it seems. And once again, that's temporary, it will pass too. The seventh thing is substances. What substances are you putting into your body? Everything affects your mood, causes anxiety. Cigarettes, caffeine, they definitely cause anxiety. I mean, cigarettes, okay, maybe you feel good when you smoke, so you feel relief. But for me, when I would smoke, I feel anxious afterwards, and it did have me kind of worked up and everything. So I recently stopped smoking, and I'll say I feel a lot less anxious. And so that's one thing. Also, of course, drugs and alcohol, we know they have different effects on your moods. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but if you have some anxiety, if you cut down on certain substances, just pay attention to how certain things make you feel, whether it's coffee, cigarettes, drugs, alcohol, whatever. Just how, and even certain foods you eat, be mindful of how they make you feel. If you notice you're feeling anxious after you do something, maybe not right when you're doing it, but maybe soon after, then maybe you might want to take a look at that and maybe adjust that a little more. So that's that. And then the eighth way is also therapy and Reiki. So therapy, I go to a therapist, and some people are ashamed to ask for help, but if it's really causing you that much of stress, a lot of times we have trauma from our childhood, life experiences, and they kind of shake up our nervous system, and it prevents us from living a happy, fulfilling life. We let the past and the fears, anxieties cripple us, basically. So I think it's good to get therapy to really help me. Also, Reiki, sometimes energy gets stuck in your or fear and different negative emotions get stuck in your energy center. I know when I did a Reiki session and when I just work on balancing my root chakra, a lot of fear and anxiety can be like a blocked root chakra, or it's underactive or something. Like maybe, like I was someone before, I felt really financially unstable. I didn't feel safe in my own body. I always was kind of, didn't feel safe. I have some experiences in my life that kind of made me worry about things all the time. So I noticed when I started working my root chakra, you can Google it. There's YouTube videos, there's meditations, there's certain crystals for each of the chakras. But I know my anxiety was more like the root chakra. So when I started work on that, it really helped me. And there's certain frequencies, music frequencies you can listen to. So that helps too. So those are the 8 ways to deal with anxiety. So as always, I'm gonna leave a comment to pin a question. So the question is what's the best way, what helps you deal with your anxiety? And what's really effective that helps you with your anxiety. So that's all I have for today. Feel free to subscribe if you like content like this, and it really help grow my channel. And I really want to build a community of trailblazers. And feel free to like, comment, or share as well. I also have a Facebook group, Trailblazers of the Universe, and an Instagram called Trailblazers of the Universe, and you'll see the link in my channel description, and it will be also in this video description. All right, have a good day, everybody.